All right, so this is weight loss Q&A number 2, day 2. And the first question I got is from an advanced individual, an advanced athlete. So their question is a little bit, I'm going to get into detail more than I usually would for some basic stuff. But it says, how close should you eat before a workout to maximize your energy and to promote muscle growth? This one is totally individualized. You know, some people work out in the morning, some people work out in the afternoon, some people work out in the evening, some people just have different training schedules. Some people do 2-a-days. So the maximize energy is totally almost individual. You know, having large meals before working out probably isn't a good idea. I don't think that works well. I tend to function really well on an empty stomach. That's for me personally. That might not be for you or who's ever listening to this. It's just there's a certain dose that works effective, not too much or none at all. Some people like to have something before they work out, but you don't really need anything. You can work out fasted and do just fine. The only caveat or the only exception is if you're doing endurance sports, something very, very intense. Let's say CrossFit workouts with some metabolic conditioning, or you're going to do like a run for 60 minutes, or stuff that's going to last a long day. Or example, if you're like having a event like this CrossFit competition, these fitness competitions where you have to exert yourself over multiple events and you have a whole day to kind of you know, for a 4 to 6 hour time period, you're going to have to definitely plan your nutrition so that you stay properly fueled, you get enough calories, and you don't eat anything that's going to mess with your digestion. But it's really just individual. Now, to tackle the second part of the question, which is to promote muscle growth has more to do with staying properly in nutrition, getting enough calories, and making sure you're recovered. That's just really all that really is. You're stimulating muscle growth, and the only way you're going to stimulate muscle growth is if you have enough raw material. If you do not have enough raw material, there's no reason for your body to add muscle on your system. Now, people will say, well, I'll be able to, I want to lose fat or I want to stay lean. Well, if that's your goal, that's a different goal, and they typically conflict. Now, how about people who can lose body fat, gain muscle, get stronger at the same time? That happens only to novice. If you're a novice and you're new, or you're fairly new, or you're fairly new to a particular type of lifting, like let's just say you start powerlifting or getting used to heavy lifting, you can lose body fat and still get stronger, and you can definitely build muscle if you are new to that type. But if you are advanced and you've been training for a while, for several years, or even just say a year or more, you're not going to be able to build muscle without getting enough calories. I mean, not to any certain degree, because you're going to be constantly losing muscle, gaining muscle, losing body fat, gaining body fat. Let's just say you eat maintenance, and people want to optimize things, and there are ways to optimize nutrition to kind of to eat, like for example, like intermittent fasting, carb backloading, stuff that I really like to follow. I like to get the edge. You know, if you're trying to get cutting edge information to get the best out of your nutrition and muscle gains and best out of your foods, I find that if you eat more after your workouts, you do better. I find that I store less fat, I stay leaner. Maybe I end up eating less calories in the day. That's the reason why I'm getting leaner. I don't know. For me, I feel like I just do better. You know, if I weight train hard and then I eat big afterwards, I tend to do better, and I feel like I get better gains from that. But I mean, it's an individual. It's not, because it's not like you're going to gain a pound of muscle after a single workout. You know, it's more of a progressive thing. So muscle gain is kind of a whole picture that takes time. And of course, you want to build muscle so that you burn more fat. That's the idea. Next question is, how should I eat to have more energy? Well, this is a really good question. I wanted to follow up with that more advanced question, which is great, because having more energy has a lot to do with just controlling blood sugar. You know, having a stable blood sugar, not having lots of carbohydrates in your meals that spike insulin. So you want a good mixture of vegetables, meats, and carbs and fats in your meals. Like having dairy is all right, you know, if you tolerate it well. Having rice and potatoes are okay if you tolerate them well and they don't mess with your blood sugar, but typically staying on the lower carb side, staying away from processed junk, basically all the stuff you probably already know that are bad, like hamburgers and french fries and donuts and cupcakes, chocolate pieces. I mean, you already know this stuff is bad and it doesn't really benefit you, and it's going to mess with your energy. You'll get a little boost of energy and then you'll fizzle out. because you get a blood sugar spike, and then you will get rebound. It's called rebound hypoglycemia. So what it is to have more energy has a lot to do with controlling insulin levels, which is in turn really moderating your carbohydrates. So that means eating a fairly consistent diet that consists of real food. That's the best diet. Food gives you energy. Your body, you have energy every day. People want more energy. Understand that people live inherently very stressful lives, and a part of that is not sleeping enough, working too late, working out too hard, having a family, all these things that play a big role into affecting your energy levels. Because a big part of it is, it's a big psychological thing too. Because, you may be tired 1 second, and then your best friend from a long time calls you, and you all of a sudden have a ton of energy. There's a big psychological component to energy too. But kind of that aside, consider that a big part of energy has to do with controlling blood sugar from nutrition. Second is making sure that you're just staying away from junk food that makes your blood sugar irregular. And the last question of the day is, what's more important to do for weight loss, weights or cardio? Now, this is a pretty simple question, and for people that have been following fitness or are fitness enthusiasts know that weight training is really the way to go, because really both of these answers are not right. Neither of them. Really, the best way to lose weight is to follow your nutrition plan, because that's really how you're going to lose weight, how you're going to lose body fat. The weights and the cardio will just allow you to stay healthier. They'll make you stronger. They'll help you maybe partition food differently. They'll get you different levels of adaptation where you're better cardiovascular fit. You build more muscle to improve your metabolism. There's a bunch of little different things that you're going to do. But when it comes to particularly weight loss, it's going to be mainly nutrition. One bout of cardio is not going to do a whole lot for you. Let's say you do cardio 7 days a week. Will that help you lose weight? Yes, if you don't overcompensate and don't eat all the calories for it. How about weight training? Why do I say weight training as a first? The reason why is because once you do cardio, and this is assuming you've been working out for a while. So if you've been working out for a while, this really only applies to those people. But if you do weight training, you have an increased stimulus of calorie expenditure. So weight training has a carryover effect of calorie expenditure, of increased metabolism for up to 48 hours. So basically 2 to 3 days, you're going to be burning more calories from muscle repair of the cells. So you're going to have an increased metabolism, which is going to ultimately promote your fat loss. So doing cardio, for instance, once you're adapted, for 30 minutes, you might burn 100, 200, 300 calories. Or if you do a cardio class, like aerobics class or something, you might burn 200 or 300 calories. But the extra calorie burns typically stop there. Sometimes if you're a beginner, you might get a small afterburn effect for another 30 minutes of increased metabolism, but that's when it stops. When you do weight training and you work out intensely, your metabolism is increased for several days or significantly longer, which will allow you to burn more calories, which will increase your fat loss. So those are my questions. If you'd like to submit a question, post a comment. I like to do more of these. I have another video I'm going to do tomorrow, and I'm looking forward to doing more of these because these are fun.